Appalachian sunrise meets my skin. Even with my eyes still closed, I can feel it coming in. Golden, golden, I'll follow only golden, golden, golden.
And hello everyone, welcome in. This is Kelly Weiler here at Girl Upcycled Studio. I am working on a piece of furniture. I know I've had this photo out and I've had some suggestions and great ideas from all of you. So let me go through the products that I used on this piece. First of all, this is called a Jacobine. I think I'm pronouncing that correctly. That's the style of furniture that this is. It has some damage to it. So what I'm doing is I am using the IOD molds, and I did not want to pull the clay out and roll the clay, press the clay, all the clay. Sometimes it just takes a while. So I just heat it up. I've got a Sure Bonder. It's like a hot glue pot that florists use. And I just turned that on and I have made detailing. I just poured it in the casting and then you just let them dry and they pop right out. It's really, really easy to do that. And so what I have done, if you look up in the corners, these were broken, some were, this one was almost completely gone. So I have just replaced both of these with this mold, okay? And I'm probably going to do the same thing down here, down below on the ones that are missing. And I'm not worried about it being overly matchy-matchy because there's so much detailing going on here that I think it's going to be fine and I think it's going to mesh really well. The IOD molds, especially this one, which is, I believe, is the classic. I believe this is called the Classic Elements. This is one of my favorite ones and one of the ones that I use the most. That's one of the ones that I recommend if you're a furniture upcycler that you will want to use. Okay, so that being said, what I started off with is Bohemian Blue. I went ahead, I've got 2 coats on this just to give it some tooth and just to give it a nice prime, which I really don't have to prime with the DIY paint, which is what I'm using tonight, as always with my furniture. It is an all natural clay-based paint. You do not have to prime with it. However, when I am working on pieces that are this old, there's a lot of wear and tear on it, and I don't know what it's been through. So I usually like to go ahead and give it a couple of coats and just to give it a good prime, and it gives it tooth, especially if you're working with something that's really shiny. So let's say you're working on a piece that has laminate. You definitely want to start with some prime coats. You can use the paint as a primer itself because it adheres and it sticks to just about anything. So if something's real shiny, you'll want to go ahead and put a good coat or 2 on it, just for starters. The next layer I came in with was our new color. It's called Walk on Water, and this is such a beautiful color. If you don't have this one, highly recommend it. Let's see if I can get it open here. So next was this color, and like I said, it took me a while to kind of figure out how I wanted to do this. So I'm just going to do a quick spray, real quick, with my mister. And then we're going to go ahead and get a quick coat on here. And I'm not overly worried about covering the entire every little bit with this, okay? I'm just kind of letting it what's going to happen is it's going to start to reactivate with the water. And as it reactivates, I'll be able to do a little bit of blending with Walk on Water, which is this color that I'm using. So again, I have Bohemian Blue, 2 coats of Bohemian Blue, and Walk on Water, and I'm just working these colors in. Is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take our new color, Blood Moon. So pretty. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take this color and I'm going to kind of just scrunch it in around the detailing.
Golden, I'll follow only golden. Golden, golden things. Gold hair, gold rings, gold leaves, gold anything. Golden, I'll follow only golden.
I'm going to tap back in. To my water, let's see, what's it called? Walk on Water. I'm going to tap back into my Walk on Water. And I have Fancy Farm Girl that I'm going to start introducing, okay? And a little bit of Fancy Farm Girl. I want the Blood Moon to really be just right in the detail, okay? So I want to kind of work the rest of the colors around it. Okay. So I'm just going to keep working with the water, and we're blending and we're blending. And what I'm going to do is just try to not overwork it where the purple is for this demonstration purposes, okay? Well, look at that. How pretty that is. It almost has this kind of a glow to it. And that's what happens when you pop that brighter, when you have all those deep dark undertones on there first, and then you come on top of it with, like, I'm using Fancy Farm Girl, but I could easily use Salty Kiss. So if you have Salty Kiss at home already, it's a bright green as well. It would work just like this. So this is going to be just, I think, so pretty. I think it's going to have a very enchanted kind of a look to it, is my thought. So we'll see. That's the plan, gang. That is the plan. So excited to kind of finally show everybody what I decided, because I know I've been working on this a couple of days. I don't know, it kind of, when I do this, I like to play around with the color a little bit, and then I like to kind of sit on it. I like to kind of like leave the studio, come back. I like to see it with all the lights hitting it and try to imagine this in somebody's home, because, you know, that is kind of what we're doing as furniture artists, is we want it to be beautiful. We want it to be very artistically painted, but it also needs to be able to fit into someone's home flawlessly as well, correct? So that's kind of why I like to kind of come back the next day or give it 2 days as I'm working on it, look at it, and kind of see in the lighting what it looks like. So right now you can kind of see, as I'm starting to go over the middle of it, it's starting to make the blood moon, which is more of a purple, which may be hard to pull off in someone's home, but when you do it very, very subtle, as I did here, it should work flawlessly. So today what I'm going to do is layered wax finishes on this piece. So now that I have my paint where I want it, so with the DIY clay-based paint, if I wanted to go in and change anything, I could still do that as long as it is not sealed. So so I have all the paint where I want it. I'm going to go in with my first sealer, which is going to be the DIY wax. It is an all natural wax. It has various beeswax in it and a couple of other natural waxes. So this is my favorite wax. And I'm going to go ahead and apply this first. So you'll notice the difference in the color as I apply the clear wax. And it's going to absorb into all of the clay-based paint. And because of that clay, it kind of pulls dark. Now, as it dries, it will slightly lighten up just a little bit. So we kind of call it the freak out factor for people that are brand new using the paint. If you don't realize that, that is natural for that to darken as you seal it. I'm going to go ahead and cover it. I'm covering it pretty liberally. So there again, the difference between the color as you seal it versus without the seal. And I'm putting it on pretty liberally. Personally, whenever I am working on a furniture piece, even if I'm going to use colored waxes, even when I use colored waxes, I always use clear first, and I recommend getting the large can of clear to have on hand for those of you that do mini furniture projects, because you're going to use it for everything. So what this does, it just puts that first seal in it. It also allows the other colors that you come in and add on top of this, it allows it to be very controlled. So if I was not to put this clear on here and I just went in with my either dark or black wax, which today I will be using black wax, it would grab and it would be really, really dark. So I would have a little less control. Now I'm going to go in with black wax. Again, DIY brand. And I'm going to go in and mush it, for lack of a better word, into the crevices. And then I'm also going to use it around all of the edges. So basically what I'm doing is I'm going to frame it. I'm going to frame in this door using the black wax. I'm just going around this frame and blending it. I'm not going to totally blend it into the middle, but I want to kind of just blend it out. See how it creates kind of a frame? I'm going to do the same thing right here in the middle. And I'm just going to go around, see how I'm going in a circular motion. And I'm going to go around this middle. And you can see how it's framing this out. So I'm going to leave it light here, and I'm going to leave it light right here in the middle. One other thing I want to make sure that I do is I want to make sure that I get all of these little detailing. I'm going to get the black wax in there as well, okay? So it already gives it a bit more of a dramatic look, doesn't it? Okay, so now I'm going to take, I've got a rag that I've already been using, so I'm going to go ahead and take this. I'm going to start buffing it out. So there's that. Now it's still a bit wet, so as it dries, it's going to look a little bit splotchy until it dries. Clean rag. I'm going to take the clean rag and start buffing it again. Now, ideally, you can see how it's starting to lighten up already. Ideally, what I would do if I were you at home, I would put your waxes on it, your clear wax, your colored waxes, and buff it real quick afterwards. And then I would leave and come back a few hours later, or better yet, come back the next day. And then you're going to buff it. And what'll happen if you look over here, you can see the shine that you'll get. You kind of see the difference between the shine there versus it still looks flat here. So that's really important for that finished kind of a fresh, sleek look that we're looking for. So with the clean rag, I'm putting a lot of attention into this middle area because that's where I want it to be the lightest. And I also want it to be the lightest right here in the middle of this little applique. You'll see probably already it's starting to have just a slight shine, and that's what I'm looking for. Okay, so the last step I'm going to do is I'm going to use some golden wax. You can also make your own wax. If you do not have gold wax, which I don't think they're making it anymore, you can simply use the golden patina, mix it with clear wax, and it will be the same thing because that's basically that's how they make this. You can kind of see the clear wax film on top of there. So, and I would mix like a 50-50 ratio with that. And I'm just going to lightly put it on my finger, and I will just pop it on the detail. Just like that. Pull you in a little bit closer so you can see. So you can add, I don't think I want it extremely gold, like I don't want it to just completely take over, but I think a little touch is okay. So if I get a little bit too much on this, I would simply just go in and buff some off. Okay. So I think the detailing that I'm going to do is just like the scrolling. I don't think I want to do all the rest of the detailing. So we have a question in from Marlene, and she is asking if I think that mixing the gold mixing powder with wax would work. Absolutely, it will work. So yeah, that is a definite, you could definitely use the powders into the wax. That definitely will work. Okay, so I have the gold on there, and I want to slightly just kind of go over and kind of pat it, just because I don't want it to be like, I don't want it to take over. Okay, see how that just made it a little more subtle, because this is an old piece and I want it just to look like it's just aged beautifully. And so if it had been naturally aged and had this gold on it, the gold probably isn't going to be real bright and stand out like that anyway. Okay, so I want to tone it down just a little bit. So anyway, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go over and hit all of these, just kind of tap. I got a little bit over here and I don't want that, so I'm going to wipe that off. Now, that brings me to another suggestion. Let's say that I can't get if I get gold over here and I don't want it over there, I'm going to take a clean rag, dip into clear wax, and rub the spot, and it will remove anything that I want off of there. Okay, so you can kind of correct. I think that is a great way for you to add color to your furniture upcycled pieces. When you're trying to introduce some color, but yet you want to do it in a way where it's going to be very, very sellable and it's going to look very, very elegant in the person's home when you get it finished, right? That is why we are doing what we're doing. So we do want to make sellable pieces, but we also want to be artistic about it and put our touches in it. So this is a great, great way to do that. And I will see all of you very soon. So I hope you are brave. Grab that DIY paint. It's all on my website at girlupcycledstudio.com. And I would love to see some of your creations. All right. Have fun, everyone. We'll talk to you soon.
Gold birds, gold string, gold words, gold anything, golden. I follow only golden, golden, golden things, golden. I follow only golden.